crackdown on corrupt babus continues here in Karnataka. A day after marathon Lokayukta raids across the state, Tahsildar Ajit Rai has been arrested after searches in about 11 places linked to him that led to the disclosure of properties worth 1.9 crore, or rather here 40 lakh rupees even in cash has been seized. The Tahsildar, of course, will be produced before the magistrate within about 24 hours. He was picked up earlier in the day. The raids, of course, were carried out at the Tahsildar's residence and multiple other locations, of course, connected to him. The suspicion here is of him having accumulated assets disproportionate to known sources of income. And probably at this point in time, with the arrest that's coming to the fore, the Lokayukta officials probably have enough evidence to that as well. The searches, of course, have disclosed documents related to several properties in the names of people running into hundreds of acres of land and also several high-end cars as well. My colleague Toya joins us with more details. Toya, this is of course not just this Tahsildar. We have multiple raids, of course, that were carried out in different parts of Karnataka. Could you just summarize what has happened over the last 24 hours?
Well, Deepak, that's absolutely. There were Lokayukta raids that has been conducted for the last, yesterday in the city of Bengaluru and across the state of Karnataka. In 15 locations, the Lokayukta has conducted the raids where, they almost recovered 35 lakhs in Bagalkote district in Karnataka. And in Bengaluru, when you're talking about Bengaluru, Ajith Rai, Tahsildar's residence, with his residence, about 12 locations also were being searched, that belongs to Ajith Rai's. And also, they almost recovered around 40 lakhs in cash and also 1.90 crores worth of, the illegal property documents. With that, they have also seized 2 expensive cars and 50 worth rupees of liquor is also being seized. And now that the Lokayukta has been taken Ajith Rai into the custody and he will be produced in front of the magistrate in the next 24 hours.
Right, Toya, thank you for all those details. Meanwhile, of course, now we should understand that the Lokayukta for the last few months has been on a rampage when it comes to the crackdown on, corrupt officials here in Karnataka. One of the, main people who are responsible for this crackdown, of course, is Mr. Ashok, who's joining us live. He's the SP of Lokayukta. Mr. Ashok KV, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. This is a very important crackdown. We'll, of course, touch down on the other cases that you've dealt with in the last 6 months. But give us a little bit of information about the arrest that you've made today and how important is it in the larger picture of, cracking down on corruption overall?
Yeah, good evening, Deepak ji. Yeah, this is regarding this arrest of Mr. Ajith Rai. We received the credible information that he is possessing assets worth more than his known sources of income. So based on that, we filed an FIR and we searched 12 places and we found all the we found the vehicles, cash and jewelry. So whichever is accounted for, we made it in a measure and left it, written it back to the accused. And whichever is not accounted for and which he can't answer, those were seized. And since there were a lot of doubts and he is not exactly cooperating to the investigation, so we took him into the custody. And very soon we are going to produce him before magistrate and further investigation will be done.
Well, Mr. Ashok, if you could also give us a little bit of clarity, sir, on, you've of course carried out this raid. Now it's about 24 hours. Your officials have been visiting multiple locations. Give us a lowdown on what all was found. How difficult and challenging was this particular search operation?
Yeah. See, the mandate of the police wing Karnataka Lokayukta is to catch the corruption and the corrupt officials under Karnataka state government. So, based on this mandate, we are all working, and based on the directions of Honorable Lokayukta and our ADGP and our IG sir. So we are all doing these operations, and we are going systematically. We are developing with, we are collecting a lot of intelligence about the corrupt officials. So based on that intelligence, we are developing source informations. We are going behind the officials who are taking the bribes. We are trapping them, And if there is any misconduct or if there is any scam sort of thing happening, so we are going behind them too. So this is we are working under the Prevention of Corruption Act. So this is our main act under which we are filing the cases. So this is our mandate, and we are doing in the right direction, I believe. Yeah.
So one of the biggest, questions that people ask is, who do we approach when there is corruption? Everyone knows, of course, there is corruption that is prevalent. When you go to government offices, people deal with it on a regular basis. Always people have thought that Lokayukta is an institution which is, devoid of any sort of political pressure. They can really approach the Lokayukta. I'm sure you're being swarmed with a lot of complaints. And the Lokayukta, of course, was not existent here in Karnataka for some time in terms of ensuring that they can actually crack down on corruption in the way that it should have, because like many people said, the wings of the Lokayukta were clipped. You didn't have all the powers that you earlier enjoyed, but it was restored. And while many people question whether the Lokayukta only goes after the small fish, you of course led one of those investigations where we had a former MLA himself being brought to book, and eventually he was arrested as well. So how important do you think, and how difficult is it when you go after the big fish?
Yeah, Deepak ji, it's not about who is big or who is small. It's all about the evidence we are having, and it's all about the information we are having at hand. If we are having the credible information at hand, definitely we don't hesitate to go against anyone. So irrespective of rank and position there, whoever comes under the ambit of Prevention of Corruption Act and whoever comes under the Karnataka Lokayukta Act, so definitely we will act, and we are acting also. So it's all depends on how better we are collecting the intelligence, and rest we are following the rules and regulations.
Okay. Also, another quick question that I'd like to ask you is a perennial problem somewhere we've seen is most of the MLAs, the MLCs are supposed to give you, annually, their list of assets. Many of them, of course, fall short of doing this year on year. We had, of course, reported on such issues even the last year, where many of them, the MLAs and MLCs from Karnataka, did not pay heed, did not submit these details to the Lokayukta. Can you tell us at this point in time, how is the Lokayukta going to look at these sort of issues, differently? Because when you have the list of assets and how it has grown over the years, that's where, of course, you can do your own study, look at, who to, really go after, and if there is any sort of corruption possible. So are you going to ensure that, all of these protocols that need to be followed, especially through the Lokayukta, is done, at the earliest?
Yeah, Deepak ji, actually the powers and responsibilities and under the organization of Lokayukta is clearly demarcated, and definitely Honorable Lokayukta heads entire organization. Under him the various branches are there. So we, being from the police wing of Karnataka Lokayukta, we are not exactly responsible for this area. So I don't have much information on this, and
right.
So yeah, that is the case in here.
Right, Mr. Ajit. I didn't want to put you in a, fix there. But finally, I'd like to ask you to probably tell our viewers out there who, of course, will be watching, who will be dealing with probably various types of corruption. When can they approach you? How can they approach you? And what sort of remedy can they really, get from the Lokayukta? If you could just tell our viewer, for the benefit of our viewers.
Yeah, we are like any other regular police. We are available round the clock all throughout the year, 24/7, 365 days. So we have our phone numbers, control room numbers, and each officer has a designated government mobile number. So you can reach at any point of the time. We are available round the clock, and whenever you are approached according to the Prevention of Corruption Act, we will take action, and we will bring them to the logical conclusion according to the law. So we have police stations at various places.
Okay. Last question before
like any other district units, police are there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so well, our viewers probably will get a sense from what you said about how to actually approach the Lokayukta. But before I let you go, one question. Yesterday, of course, we discussed about these raids that, of course, you executed, and of course, in different parts of the state as well, under the leadership of the Lokayukta, of course. Now, one important aspect here, some of the activists, anti-corruption activists, were saying that the conviction rate as far as the Lokayukta is very low. Where do you think the lacuna lies there? How can it be fixed or bettered?
Yeah, exactly. This is something we need to look at the statistics. I simply can't pass a comment on this. But as far as my knowledge goes, comparatively, our conviction rates are no less than any other organization. So it's better I can comment only after looking at the statistics.
Right, Mr. Ashok, thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now and sharing details, of course, about the raids that you headed. More importantly, of course, the crackdown that continues on corruption here in Karnataka, which is so essential. And best of luck to you on your future endeavors as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We are moving on, of course, right now in an exclusive conversation with Mirror Now, former Karnataka Chief